I don't care what anyone has to say, the K-pop Twitter NPCs are being complete and utter clowns about Kiss of Life and it's getting annoying. From silencing the voices of black people who didn't find what they did offensive and sought to educate others of their feelings, thoughts, and the reality of black culture, to straight up calling anyone who isn't on board with cyberbullying these girls into submission all types of buzzwords, and then the cherry on top, going back on their vows to unstand Kiss of Life for good the moment Julie apologized and said what they wanted to hear, proving they never actually sought to cancel them. It's funny really. But anyways, recently, Kiss of Life have been going about business as usual, gearing up for a comeback and even scoring collaborations with big name artists in the K-pop world. However, a lot of people are not satisfied with the threats, cyberbullying, and overreactions the members have already had to deal with for the grave sin of having a rap-themed birthday party. They want Kiss of Life to be cancelled and disappear, but then at the same time, can't keep Kiss of Life's name out of their mouths. You already got them to pull out of K-Con, you got not one but two apologies, you won. What more punishment do you want these women to suffer, all because you feel bad on behalf of a group of people that many of you don't belong to? Meanwhile, you tune out the voices of those inside the black community that have repeatedly told you that your opinion on the matter doesn't reflect theirs by a long shot. I and many other black people who disagree with the logically inaccurate discourse surrounding Kiss of Life's livestream have been bullied and called slurs by non-black people. You're so hellbent on fighting alleged racism, but when someone disagrees with you and tries to explain that your opinion may not be accurate to the reality of the situation, your response is to be racist to them? Make it make sense. It truly baffles me how so many non-black people assume all black people feel some sort of intense connection to hip-hop culture, and that an equally disturbing amount of black people actually affirm that false belief. The hip-hop subculture is not black culture, it is a music-based subculture that happens to have been founded by predominantly black people. That's all. The values, attitudes, behaviors, and personas that hip-hop tends to glorify and that Kiss of Life were jokingly imitating in their stream do not reflect Black American culture or values. Black Americans themselves, which includes myself and my own family, joke around in a very similar manner to how Kiss of Life did on the topic of hip-hop and rap. They were not caricaturizing black people, it was not some minstrel show, they were acting like rappers.
Some people are calling this blackface, by the way. Imagine that. Imagine my shock. I didn't know a specific demographic could have a monopoly on a specific type of attire. And before any idiots come in my comment section saying, no, this is blackface because look how he's dressed and this is how black people dress. My girl, do you think all black people dress like this? Is this how you really think of black people? Do you think black people are a monopoly? Do you think it's like one big ass homogenous culture? Think about that. You call other people racist. Maybe you're the racist one. Don't let that fly over your head.
If you genuinely think that the cringeworthy, joking behavior Kiss of Life exhibited in that live stream is an example of prejudice and racism and could be considered an attack on black people, I have a few questions for you to reflect on. How do you think black people actually act? Why are you under the impression that all black people hold some intense sentimental connection to hip-hop and rap? Why do you get so defensive when black people express an opinion regarding something involving them that doesn't align with yours? Why do you get mad when a black person isn't offended by something you think they should be offended by? Why do you get mad when a black person doesn't welcome your help? Genuinely ponder that before you jump to silence people who have a different thought process than yours, especially if they belong to the group you claim to want to uplift in this specific situation. In my honest opinion, I think that this whole Twitter-coded crash ad was never truly about racism. This was about dictating who is allowed to engage with what culture and how they are allowed to do so. Trying to monopolize aspects of pop culture by slinging words like racist and anti-black like Halloween candy at anyone who pisses them off, when in reality these are seriously strong words that hold meaning, and throwing them at an issue as small as this just bastardizes them more than they already have been. Yes, racism is still sadly a very real thing, and we should work towards a society where it is hard to come by. But trying to control other people and limit potential triggers by baby-proofing the world around you and telling people how they can act and what they can say is not the way to do it. Instead, focus on controlling what you actually have power over, which is what triggers you and how you respond to it. Not every non-black person who engages with the hip-hop subculture in a way that you didn't consent to is acting in a microaggressive, prejudiced way. Pop culture is not the same as ethnic or national culture. When all of you realize that, and stop going into fight or flight mode when you hear somebody say finna, only then can we start to see real racism die down.